Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel where we are breaking down the college application process to the USA. My name is Kutemwa Masafwa and I am an international student at Xavier University of Louisiana in New Orleans. So I worked as an SAT tutor and college applications coach for over a year. So this is what we are doing here, just breaking down the process and giving you tips as we go through. So as you have seen from the title of this video, today we'll be looking at college selection. So we'll be looking at the main factors that should make you choose a college, and to also look at forming your list of colleges that you are going to apply to. So first of all, I want to say that the college search is very, very important, and it doesn't matter how good your application is if you apply to the wrong schools. So please do pay attention to the points that I raise in this video because they are from my experience, and I hope that they will help you and guide you as you pick your colleges. So what people usually do is they look at ranking alone. Maybe they would search for the top 10 or the top 20 most highly ranked schools in the US. So I'm not saying that that's bad, but it is definitely not sufficient. Firstly, because there are over 5,300 universities here. That is a lot. So that list does not even begin to cover the schools that are here. And then secondly, ranking is not everything, because you might have a highly ranked school that just doesn't fit you. And that's how I want you to think of the college search as. It's like you searching for a pair of shoes. You're trying to look for a shoe that's the right size. So here are some points that you should look at. So the first thing that you should definitely look at is the criteria for admission and the requirements. This is obvious because you don't want to waste your time doing research on university that you do not qualify to be accepted into. So an example of something that you should check for is the SAT, as that now many institutions have made it optional, but maybe you might not plan on doing the SAT, so there's no point in applying to a university that still requires it. And then secondly, check the cost of attendance for obvious reasons. And this is very important because if you get into a very good school but you're not able to cover the cost of tuition, you probably won't go anyway. So why waste your efforts in applying to that school? So if someone plans on sponsoring you or you plan on sponsoring yourself, make sure that you have a budget, at least a rough figure, that you want the cost to be around, that can be managed. And then if you do not plan on covering the cost of your education, do not fret. I am here on a full scholarship. I once said it in my previous videos. So it's very, very possible. So that's the third thing that you should look for when you are applying to a university. Make sure you check for the scholarship opportunities that are there. I mean, even if you're being sponsored, that's like a plus. You're not having to pay for anything. So I feel like that's something that everyone should look for, And then if you're an international student, make sure you search specifically for international students, because there are some schools that just do not offer scholarships for international students. And we will have a video just based on scholarships, on opportunities, and on the types of scholarships that are there. So make sure that you stick around and you subscribe so that you do not miss that video. And then the fourth thing that you should look at when you are analyzing universities is you should look at the programs offered. This is very, very important. Do not assume that the course that you want to study is at a specific school. As I said, there are so many universities and they are so diverse. Some programs are just not offered at certain universities. So make sure that you are applying to a school that actually has the program that you are looking for. That's if you have one. So according to me, those are the top things that you should look for when you are searching for universities. And then other things can come in later, such as accommodation. Is it provided? Would you have to look for your own? And then things like location. Maybe you don't like cold places, so you don't want to go to a country that's very cold and things like that. But I think those are things that are worth making compromises for. So those should come in after. The major things that you should consider are the first things that we talked about in this video. So as you are doing your college search, it's important that you're coming up with some sort of list, either maybe written down physically or typed or something. But it's important to keep track of the schools that you are checking for. And just because there is such a large number of schools, you might end up coming up with so many schools, and you might have to trim down that list based on the ones that you can or plan on applying to. So this is where this advice comes in, making your list. So first of all, it's important that you know yourself as an applicant. You have to know the qualifications that you have, the package that you bring to the table, because this is what's going to guide you on sorting out those schools. So you are going to divide those schools into your dream schools, your target schools, and your safety schools. And it's very important to divide them because you want to make sure that you have a balanced list among these three. So you have your dream schools. Your dream schools are those that may have higher credentials than what you have. And then your target schools are those that maybe just line up with your credentials. And then there are safety schools that are much lower, those that people might say, it's obvious that I'll get in, so it's important that you have a balance between these three types of schools. And how do you know whether a school is a dream school, a target school, or a safety school? As I said, that is based on you. So something that can help you, something that helped me, is looking at the statistics of the students that are usually admitted to a school. You can even search for a specific year. Maybe for last year, you can check maybe the average or the median SAT score or the median GPA, or just in general the qualifications of the pool that was accepted. And it's very easy to find this information as long as you are getting it from a credible source. So it's important to search for these kinds of things because they will help you to know the kind of school that you are applying to. Because if you apply to all dream schools, those are kind of you soaring. I mean, they're called dream schools. That's just a chance that you are taking. Maybe you might get in. So if you apply to all dream schools, there's a very big chance that you might not get into any of them. And then if you balance it out between dream schools and target schools, you will not always get into your target school because there's a high number of applicants. And it's not that they're going to say, oh, those who are above this line get in. No, it depends on the specific pool that you are in. It depends on the other people's applications. So you can't again depend on your target schools just because of that. So it's important to also have safety schools, those where you would be among the the highly put criteria, let me put it like that. So having a well-balanced list greatly increases your probability of getting into a school. And then if your list is well-balanced, chances are you'll get to choose between schools in the end, which I think is an amazing thought. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. And if you still have any questions and so on, please make sure that you leave them in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next video.